In the recent episode of the CBS soap opera, The Young and the Restless aired on May 9, 2025, Victor stepped in to block Kyle and Claire's plans. Just as the couple felt ready to move forward, Victor made it clear he wouldn't allow it and warned of serious consequences. At Society, Chloe confronted Chelsea for quitting Marchetti without telling her. Chelsea said the move to Newman Media happened fast, but Chloe warned her about the risks of working under Victor. At the Newman Ranch, Claire told Victor she was moving in with Kyle. Nikki urged patience, but Victor was furious. With the apartment deal falling apart, Claire and Kyle were left to figure out their next move. At Society, Chloe confronted Chelsea, upset that she left Marchetti without telling her. Chloe felt hurt and left out. Chloe doubted the move and warned Chelsea about dealing with Victor. She suggested going back to Marchetti, but Chelsea was determined to stay and face whatever came next. At Crimson Lights on The Young and the Restless, Claire talked with Kyle about moving in together and decided to tell Victor herself. Kyle offered to go with her, but Claire thought that would make things worse and planned to take Nikki along instead. At the Newman Ranch, Nikki tried to calm Victor and asked him to be open-minded. But when Claire shared her plans, including buying Adam's apartment, Victor got angry and left to stop it. Nikki warned Claire not to rush things, or she might lose Victor's support. Still, Claire stood her ground, refusing to let Victor control her life. At Jabad on The Young and the Restless, Kyle told Jack how Victor was trying to. Kyle knew how tough Victor could be and feared it would hurt Claire. Victor soon showed up and firmly said the apartment deal was off. He told Kyle to leave Claire if he truly cared about her. When Kyle pushed back, Victor warned him not to test him. After Victor left, Kyle told Jack he was still worried. He knew the battle with Victor was just beginning. Later, Kyle met Claire in the park, and they talked about what happened with Victor. Kyle thought the apartment deal was off, but Claire still hoped Adam might go through with it anyway. No matter what, Claire told Kyle she was all in. She wasn't going to let Victor control their future. They agreed to face whatever came next together. At Newman Media on The Young and the Restless, Victor confronted Adam about the apartment deal. Adam said it was just business, but Victor warned him to cancel it or face consequences. He made it clear he wouldn't allow. By the end of the episode, Victor had shaken everyone. Whether Adam listens or Claire and Kyle stay strong is still unknown, but Victor wasn't backing down. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Jolie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless recap for Friday, May 9, reveals that Victor Newman will block Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman from buying Adam Newman's apartment, so the deal will be off or else. Here's what Y&R fans can look forward to on Friday's exciting episode. At Society, Adam will order someone over the phone to get all the information they can get on Aristotle Dumas, but they won't come back with anything more than fans already know. Next, Chloe Mitchell will corner Chelsea Lawson at Society and scold her BFF for not giving her the heads up about leaving. Chelsea will apologize and explain that everything happened really fast. After Chelsea admits the idea of working with Adam felt right, she'll express excitement for the new challenge. At the same time, Chelsea will sense that Victor is going to be a problem. Chloe will act like Chelsea should have anticipated this and will argue that it's not too late to return to Marchetti, but Chelsea will be committed to making things work at Newman Media. At Crimson Lights, Claire will talk to Kyle about her plan to tell Victor that they're moving in together. Kyle will want to come with Claire, but she'll think that it'd make things worse and will assure him that she'll have Nikki Newman as backup. At the Newman Ranch, Nikki will push Victor to be more accepting of Claire and Kyle's relationship, but he'll refuse to let them get closer as Claire arrives. Claire will ultimately admit she's moving in with Kyle and will mention that a deal is in the works for Adam's place. Victor will make it clear that he's disappointed over this news and won't stand for it. After Victor says he's going to take care of this, he'll head out the door. Nikki will try to convince Claire to slow things down and give Victor more time to come to terms with this arrangement. However, Claire won't think that's going to do any good and will remain frustrated over Victor dismissing her decisions. Nikki will suggest everything is a negotiation with Victor and warn that if Claire moves in with Kyle now, she may never get her grandfather's approval. At Gibot, Kyle will vent to Jack Abbott about Claire having to put up with all the Victor drama. It'll leave Kyle worried that Victor could ramp up his efforts to tear them apart and even threaten to disown. Kyle will have concerns about Victor changing Claire's mind and will acknowledge that he knows what Victor's capable of. Victor will walk in and insist that Kyle has no idea. After Victor warns Kyle to abandon this notion of living with Claire, he'll insist the deal for Adam's apartment is off. Victor will refuse to let Kyle break Claire's heart and will argue that this ends now. When Kyle wonders what'll happen if he doesn't go along with Victor's demands, Victor will warn that Kyle doesn't want to find out. Since Victor doesn't make idle threats, Kyle will fret after he leaves and once again complain to Jack. Later, Kyle will meet up with Claire in the park, so they'll trade updates on their interactions with Victor. After Kyle makes a prediction about the apartment deal falling apart, Claire will hold out hope that Adam might go against Victor's wishes. Regardless, Claire will remain committed to her decision to move in with Kyle and will assure him that they'll come up with a way to handle Victor together. Back at Newman Media, Victor will get confirmation that Adam spoke to Claire and Kyle about selling his apartment to them. Adam will defend it since money is money, but Victor will warn him to back out of the deal or else. The Young and the Restless preview video for the week of May 12 to 16 reveals that Claire Newman will pitch a party scheme while Maria Copeland asks Tessa Porter's forgiveness. I and R's promo kicks off with Phyllis Summers and Victor Newman talking in the Jazz Lounge, where he asks what info Phyllis has to sell him. "Oh, I'm not gonna give you anything until you promise me something in return," Phyllis warns in the preview clip. Phyllis already vowed that Billy Abbott would be sorry for what he did to her, so this may be the first step of her revenge plot. Of course, Victor can't be trusted, and neither can Phyllis for that matter. If Phyllis and Victor are going to strike a deal, they'll both need to proceed with caution. In the park, Tessa will try to break down Maria's walls and get her to discuss the emotional distance between them. Ever since Maria got back from her business trip, Tessa has sensed that something's off. Tessa came up with two possible reasons for why Mariah would be behaving this way. Although Tessa has considered the idea that Mariah might be hiding something terrible about her trip, she hasn't ruled out blaming herself. Tessa urged Mariah to give Ian Ward a chance before she saw his true colors, so part of her fears Maria is holding a grudge. That's why Tessa will discuss the issue with her wife and suggest that if Mariah can't forgive her, then maybe they could try therapy or family counseling. Tessa will beg Mariah to get on the same page about finding a way to work through this. That's when Mariah will admit it's not Tessa who needs to be forgiven. It's obviously Mariah herself who needs to be forgiven instead, since she told Sharon Newman about a drunken mistake she made while she was out of town. Will Mariah finally confess the horrible thing she did behind Tessa's back? Did Mariah's betrayal involve cheating? And if it did, can Tessa get past it? Maria will be a repeat offender in the infidelity department if her secret indeed involves cheating. Tessa has been burned before, so Mariah may brace for bad news if she's... Next, Claire will tell Victoria Newman and Nikki Newman about some grand scheme. One that involves convincing Victor to accept her relationship with Kyle Abbott. Claire will want to throw a party, so she may think this will be the ideal opportunity to bring everyone together. Nikki's birthday is coming up, so Claire may suggest it's the perfect excuse to have a big bash. Despite Claire's positive predictions about this shindig, Nikki and Victoria may want her to lower her expectations when it comes to changing Victor's mind. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, May 12, reveal that Phyllis Summers will hope to strike a dirty Victor Newman deal, so Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra could have some trouble brewing. I and our fans will recall that Phyllis made some although Billy brushed off Phyllis' outbursts, Sally was more inclined to take her threats seriously. Now, Phyllis wants Billy to pay for kicking her to the curb at Abbott Communications. Of course, Phyllis wants Sally to feel the sting of defeat too, since she stole Phyllis' spot as Billy's right-hand woman. It won't be long until Phyllis joins Victor for a meeting in the Jazz Lounge, so it sounds like she's about to get the ball rolling on her vengeful plans. Although Phyllis has issues with Victor, she may think they have something in common now that they're both targeting Billy. Phyllis will offer up some tempting information that could perhaps help Victor protect himself and take Billy down at the same time. Victor will be intrigued, but Phyllis will refuse to share exactly what her info is without a promise for something in return. In other words, Phyllis isn't going to come through for Victor unless something's in it for her. It's possible Phyllis will try to score her employment at Newman Media or another division at Newman Enterprises. Phyllis might want a spot waiting for Daniel as well, since she's determined to give him a new career path. Whatever the case, Phyllis may vow that with her intel, Victor will stand a much better chance of going up against Billy and Aristotle Dumas. If Victor wants to safeguard Chancellor from the threat that's bubbling up, Phyllis may insist he's going to need her assistance. Will Victor be willing to strike the deal Phyllis wants or decide she's too much of a wild card? Regardless, Sally may grow increasingly concerned about how Phyllis might retaliate now that she's been cast aside. If Sally and Billy get a whiff of Phyllis potentially working with Victor, they could both face some worries. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Michelle Morgan's first airdate back has been revealed, so let's talk about Amanda's return and how her mystery client is going to cause chaos. TV Insider confirmed that Amanda would kick off her return stint on May 16, so it won't be long until she's in the mix. As for why Amanda is headed back to Genoa City, she's working for someone who's quite important. Amanda is a hotshot lawyer who really knows her stuff, so her clients tend to be major power players. According to Michelle Morgan's return interview, that'll be the case this time around as well, since Amanda will represent somebody very mysterious, definitely high-powered, and she's going to make some waves while she's there. It's pretty easy to add up the clues here. Aristotle Dumas is mysterious and high-powered, so all signs point to Amanda representing him when she comes back into the picture. Amanda will share scenes with Lily Winters, Devin Winters, and Nate Hastings right off the bat, but she'll spend some time interacting with other characters in her upcoming episodes too. Phyllis Summers has been struggling since her kidnapping ordeal, so let's hope Amanda can offer some support. Amanda and Phyllis will indeed catch up once Amanda's back in GC. Of course, Amanda will also have a tense encounter with Abby Newman, so that'll bring an opportunity to push some buttons. Amanda thinks, "I might as well bump into Abby and make her uncomfortable," Morgan said. She does her rounds a little bit. Plus, Amanda will be processing some big life changes, like the off-screen demise of her mother, and some other significant developments. Fans will see personal growth for Amanda as Y&R peels back some layers, especially when it comes to the new job she's tackling. Michelle Morgan will really get a chance to shine as all the Aristotle Dumas drama heats up. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that the real Chelsea Lawson may return. So let's talk about why her con artist scheming side may come back out to play. My and our fans know Chelsea wasn't always the upstanding Genoa City resident she's become lately. Chelsea has a shady past that includes running plenty of cons and sinking pretty low during her scheming days. Of course, Chelsea has been through a lot in recent years, including nearly taking her own life and dealing with Connor Newman's OCD. It's easy to see why we've been seeing a softer Chelsea who's more mature under the circumstances. However, there's also no denying that this version of Chelsea is rather boring. If the show sticks with Chelsea as a good girl, then she's just going to be an annoying thorn in Adam Newman's side. We'd rather see Chelsea and Adam become the ultimate power couple at Newman Media. That can only happen if Adam and Chelsea are on the same page, so Chelsea needs to surrender to her worst impulses and play dirty along with Adam. Following Victor Newman's orders, Adam promised Chelsea that he wouldn't use Newman Media to go after Billy, but he also intends to fight back if Billy strikes first. Adam has hinted about another solution to handle Billy and Aristotle Dumas instead, but that could still rile Billy up and fuel a feud. Billy is surely going to make a move against Newman Media sooner or later, and if he crosses too many lines, it could be a turning point for Chelsea. Billy just has to prove he's not worth protecting and make Chelsea see that Adam's the only one she should be loyal to. Chelsea might have a change of heart about Billy's downfall and encourage Adam's takedown efforts in the end. Whatever the case, Chelsea's new job presents a golden opportunity for her character. Instead of having Chelsea be an angel on Adam's shoulder, she could revert to her scheming ways a bit and get down in the mud with him. Chelsea is more fun when she's a bad girl, so maybe Y&R will let her make some vengeful predictions and turn dirty again. We'd like to see Chelsea embrace a little of the con artist and schemer she used to be, so stay tuned for updates on whether any sneaky news might be on the horizon. The upcoming May 9th episode of Young and the Rest, Claire continues to harbor aspirations regarding Kyle's potential acceptance by Victor Newman, visualizing holiday scenarios where Victor welcomes Kyle as family. However, Nikki Newman is poised to deliver a reality check to Claire, emphasizing that Victor rarely forgives those who target his family with ulterior motives. According to the latest information, Victor Newman is preparing to exploit one of Kyle's vulnerabilities, potentially targeting either his ego or his position at Jebot. This strategic move may trigger a significant emotional response from Kyle at the office, requiring Jack's intervention to manage the situation. Analysts suggest this confrontation could reignite the historic Newman-Abbott corporate rivalry. The partnership between Chelsea and Adam continues to develop precariously. Chelsea has expressed legitimate concerns regarding Adam's contingent. Despite these apprehensions, Adam maintains his characteristic self-assurance at Newman Media, projecting positivity despite the inherently volatile nature of their professional relationship. Industry observers note that this collaboration resembles a high-risk venture, with the inevitable intersection of personal and professional considerations, likely to create complications in the near future. The most compelling speculation currently circulating among viewers concerns the possible return of Drusilla Winters. This discussion coincides with the 35th anniversary of Victoria Rowell's debut as Drusilla on the program. The theory proposes that the mysterious Aristotle Dumas might actually be Drusilla in disguise, potentially through a gender-swapped identity created to conceal her true self. This narrative would suggest, while adhering to traditional soap opera narrative conventions, this speculation has some substantive foundation. Victoria Rowell, despite past legal disputes with CBS, has consistently maintained that Drusilla's departure was deliberately left unresolved. A return at this juncture could provide the dramatic catalyst that would energize both established and new viewers. Additional industry rumors suggest Billy Flynn, known for portraying Chad DiMera on Days of Our Lives, might cross over to assume the role of Aristotle Dumas. However, the potential reintroduction of Drusilla represents a legacy-oriented plot development that could significantly impact the Winter family dynamics, potentially providing Devon, Lily, and Nate with renewed familial stability. Since Sally Spectra first entered Billy Abbott's orbit, sparks flew. Their dynamic, charged with ambition, but as any fan of The Young and the Restless knows, Billy's history is littered with failed romances, each one shaped by passion, impulse, and fallout. So the question remains, can this relationship defy the odds? Billy and Sally's journey began at Newman Media. As colleagues, their mutual respect and shared work ethic built a solid foundation. Sally, full of fire and creativity, brought levity to Billy's world of corporate drama, while Billy, ever the gentleman, offered her guidance and support. As friendship turned to something deeper, the couple enjoyed moments of tenderness, late-night strategy sessions, and casual dinners that hinted at real emotional growth for Billy. Yet Billy's romantic past can't be ignored. From Victoria Newman to Chelsea Lawson, Lily Winters to Phyllis Summers, and Sharon Newman to Heather Stevens, each relationship exposed Billy's strengths and, more often, his fatal flaws. His impulsiveness, difficulty with trust, and emotional volatility have time and again unraveled promising connections. That said, there's something different this time. With Sally, Billy has shown signs of maturity. He listens, he owns his past, he opts for conversations over chaos. It's a version of Billy we've rarely seen, a man willing to grow. Still, his restlessness remains. One misread moment, one unexpected confrontation, and old patterns could re-emerge. The stability they've built is fragile. And what if it all falls apart? In that case, Sally won't be short of options. Devon Hamilton, with his empathy and depth, could offer her a grounded, purpose-driven relationship. Kevin Fisher's quirky unpredictability might match her energy. Noah Newman's quiet thoughtfulness. Of course, there's also Nick Newman, a former flame whose past with Sally still carries weight. Their early chemistry blended her boldness with his steady presence, but their relationship never quite escaped the gravitational pull of Adam Newman and complicated family loyalties. For Nick and Sally to reunite, both would need to face unresolved emotions and make real, lasting changes. Nick must take accountability for misleading Victoria, for being emotionally inconsistent, and for not fully choosing Sally when it mattered most. Sally, in turn, must let go of Adam, not just emotionally, but in identity. Only then could she see Nick not as a fallback, but as a partner in his own right. In soap operas, second chances are rarely simple. But if Billy and Sally falter, and if Nick and Sally are willing to heal old wounds, a rekindled romance could feel not like a rerun, but like a new beginning. Tensions are boiling over in Genoa City as power plays unfold and loyalties are tested. At the center of the storm is Lily Winters, who is preparing a bold move that may catch Damian Kane off guard and permanently shift the delicate power dynamic between them. It all began when Damian, loyal assistant to the elusive Aristotle Dumas, delivered a cryptic message to Lily. "Dumas wants to know what you want." It was an opening, a chance to align with the enigmatic power broker. But Lily saw more than an offer, she saw an opportunity. Refusing to be passive, Lily countered with a proposal of her own, asking Damian to leave Dumas and join Winters. Her pitch was clear: "You're ambitious, you're capable, and I think you'd be an asset to Winters." Damian was stunned. Accepting Lily's offer meant cutting ties with the man who had elevated his career, but remaining loyal to Dumas also meant staying in the shadows. Lily's challenge was as much about empowerment as it was business. Could Damien take the risk and step into the light? While Damien weighed his future, another battle was taking shape. Victor Newman, ever the master strategist, set his sights on Billy Abbott. Determined to dismantle Billy's credibility and secure his family's dominance, Victor tasked Adam with executing a smear campaign through Newman Media. Adam hesitated. Though loyal to Victor, he feared the fallout with Chelsea Lawson. Her instincts were razor-sharp, and she wouldn't be easily misled. When she began to suspect the plan, tensions between them escalated. "I want to know you'll never use Newman Media to destroy Billy," Chelsea said, drawing a clear line. Caught in the middle, Adam faced an impossible decision: continue down Victor's ruthless path or preserve his relationship with Chelsea. The pressure was mounting, and Victor wouldn't hesitate to sacrifice even his own son's happiness if it meant preserving the Newman legacy. Meanwhile, the fallout from Lily's move was beginning to ripple across Genoa City. Devin Winters and Nate Hastings were left reeling as they struggled to understand her motives. And as always, Holden Novak, a cautious but perceptive voice in the city, warned Damien about the risks of aligning with either Lily or Dumas. The days ahead will be pivotal. Will Damien accept Lily's offer and carve out a new identity, or remain bound by loyalty to Dumas? Can Adam find a way to protect Chelsea without betraying Victor's trust? And how far will Lily go to secure her position at the top? Don't miss it. Tucker McCall's return could be the biggest twist yet on The Young and the Restless, and a shocking return could be brewing in the heart of Genoa City. John's departure earlier this year. Could a special occasion, like Abby and Devon's wedding, be the perfect reason for his triumphant return? A father's love. A son's wedding. Devon and Abby's wedding is shaping up to be a memorable event, with the return of beloved characters like Cheen Lawson as Devon's birth mother, Yolanda Harmony Hamilton, and Lauren Lorette as his sister, Anna Hamilton. But there's a crucial element missing: Devon's father. Imagine the scene: Devon and Abby ready to say "I do," and suddenly a sleek black car pulls up, with a dapper Tucker McCall stepping out. He could make a grand entrance, whisking Abby and Devon away in style, symbolizing a reconciliation between father and son. Victor's master plan. But this isn't just about heartwarming reunions. There's a darker side to Tucker's potential return. Remember Victor Newman, the ruthless patriarch of the Newman family? He's always plotting and scheming, and he could be using Tucker as a pawn in his latest revenge plan. Victor is out to get Billy Abbott, Jack Abbott, and Diane Jenkins, and Tucker, with his history of business dealings and connections, could be the perfect weapon. Victor doesn't need to invite Tucker. After all, who can deny a wedding invite? Tucker could show up uninvited, causing chaos and disrupting the ceremony. He's the ultimate party crasher, and his presence could be the catalyst for a massive showdown, putting all of Victor's enemies on high alert. A second chance for love? There's another intriguing possibility for Tucker's return: Ashley Abbott. She's been absent since struggling with dissociative identity disorder. Could Tucker's appearance at Devon and Abby's wedding mark a moment of closure for them both? Perhaps they could offer each other support and forgiveness, marking the new chapter in their complicated relationship. A return we're all eagerly anticipating. While Trevor Street John has announced his departure from the show, he's hinted at a potential return. And what better time for a comeback than during a significant event like a wedding? Tucker's presence could shake up the entire town, creating drama, tension, and a thrilling opportunity for reconciliation. What do you think? Will Tucker McCall return to Genoa City for Devon and Abby's wedding? Will he be a supportive father figure or a pawn in Victor's game? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We're all on the edge of our seats waiting to see what happens next. On the May 8 episode of The Young and the Restless, Victor and Billy did their by now expected squabbling thing. You're old. You're stupid. I give you a demeaning nickname. I slept with your daughter. There appears to be no end in sight. But what if Billy takes great pride in being John Abbott's son? He takes the role so personally, he threw a fit when Diane redecorated the Abbott mansion. But Billy being an Abbott wasn't always a sure thing. Before he was born, there was a possibility his real father might be Victor. John was declared the ultimate victor. But we all know how paternity tests in soaps go. What if Billy turns out to be Victor's after all? No, 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 we can hear you screaming. It can't be Victoria, Victoria, Victoria. Billy and Victoria were married. They have children together. No, no, no. Actually, Victoria being a Newman wasn't always a sure thing either. In fact, she was born while her mother, Nikki, was married to a man named Kevin Bancroft. Kevin was presumed to be Victoria's father, not only because he was Nikki's husband, but because Victor had a vasectomy years earlier. They have children together. No, no, no. Actually, Victoria being a Newman wasn't always a sure thing either. In fact, she was born while her mother, Nikki, was married to a man named Kevin Bancroft. Kevin was presumed to be Victoria's father, not only because he was Nikki's husband, but because Victor had a vasectomy years earlier. So if Billy turns out to be Victor's son, then Victoria can, once again, be Kevin's daughter. And that part will, at least, be oak. Can you imagine the drama? Can you imagine the angst? Victor puts blood over everything. But will he put the newfound son he hates over the no longer daughter he has to still love? Imagine the power dynamic shuffle. Adam will love it. Nick won't know how to respond. Claire will realize she's not a Newman and doesn't have to listen to Victor about Kyle or anything. Genoa City is bracing for a bombshell. In a storyline twist that no one saw coming, The Young and the Restless is setting the stage for a shocking revelation that could turn Lily Winters and Devon Hamilton's world upside down. And it all centers around one simple, unbelievable question. Is their mother really alive? Viewers were left stunned when a mysterious woman was caught on security footage near Chancellor Winters, a woman who bears an uncanny resemblance to Drusilla Winters, the beloved but presumed dead matriarch played by Victoria Rowell. The grainy image, fleeting as it was enough to send fans into a frenzy and spark chaos behind the scenes in Genoa City. Devon first saw the footage during a late-night review of building security and reportedly froze. She turned her head for just. Longtime fans will recall the tragic incident on that fateful cliff years ago, when Drusilla was believed to have fallen to her death during a heated altercation with Sharon and Phyllis. Her body was never recovered, something that always left a sliver of doubt in the hearts of her children and fans alike. And now, that doubt has exploded into full-blown speculation. When Lily was shown the footage, sources on set describe her as completely shattered. The possibility that her mother might still be alive, after all the grief, therapy, and unresolved trauma, left her speechless. "We buried her in our hearts," Lily whispered to Devon. "What if she's been out there all this time?" Her reaction is said to spark a whirlwind of emotion across the Winters family, including emotional scenes with Billy Abbott, who tried. Victor Newman, ever the investigator, has reportedly stepped in to get to the bottom of the mystery. "If someone is playing games with my family's allies, they'll regret it," he growled. But even he can't deny the possibility that Drusilla may have survived. and may have stayed hidden for reasons only she knows. Adding more fuel to the fire, an anonymous tip landed at Chancellor Winter's front desk. A single envelope with the words, "Ask Neil." He knew. Could this mean the late Neil Winters was hiding something, even from his own children? Across social media, fans are losing their minds over the potential return of Drusilla Winters. Has Y&R pulled off the ultimate soap opera shocker? Could Victoria Rowell be stepping back into the role that made her a legend? Producers are staying tight-lipped, but one insider teases: we're heading into a storyline that will rock Genoa City to its core, as Devon and Lily dig into their mother's past, and possibly her present. The entire Winters legacy is on the verge of upheaval. Who helped her disappear? Why hasn't she come back? And if she is alive, what kind of secrets has she been keeping? Hold on to your martinis, Genoa City fans, because May is starting with a bang, and no one is safe. From Phyllis Summer's total meltdown to Sally Spectra's ruthless power play and the mystery surrounding Cole Howard's fate, The Young and the Restless is dishing out more drama than we've seen in years. Let's break down the chaos that's shaking the very foundation of your favorite soap town. After months of walking the line between redemption and relapse, Phyllis Summers has finally crashed, and hard. Witnesses say she was seen storming into society, screaming at both Jack and Diane, accusing them of betrayal and stealing everything that ever mattered. Then, in a moment that stunned onlookers, Phyllis collapsed to the floor in sobs, clutching a broken wine glass and muttering, "They'll all pay. Watch me." Insiders say this may not be just emotional instability. Phyllis could be spiraling into a mental health crisis, or worse, plotting something dangerous. She's at her limit, one source revealed, and when Phyllis hits bottom, someone usually gets hurt. While Phyllis unravels, Sally Spectra is doing the exact opposite, rising fast. Rumor has it she's got her eyes on Newman Media's top chair, and with Nikki Newman distracted, Adam drifting, and Victoria Mamaye, Sally sees an opening. She's charming the board, flirting with influence, and making power plays behind closed doors, an insider dished. She wants the throne, and she just might take it. But how far will she go to get it? Don't count out a backstab, a blackmail, or even a new romance with someone in high places to seal her rise. Sally's motto: "I've lost enough. Now I win." The biggest shocker of all, Cole Howard has gone missing, and whispers are growing louder that he may be dead. Last seen at the Newman Ranch after a heated argument with Victor, Cole reportedly left in a rage, and hasn't been heard from since. His car was found abandoned outside the city, and a mysterious blood-stained jacket was discovered nearby. The police are investigating, but the Newman family is in full panic mode. Could this be tied to long-buried secrets about Claire, or is it connected to Victor's ever-growing list of enemies? And here's the wild twist. Victoria's behavior is becoming increasingly erratic, and some suspect she knows more than she's letting on. Here's what we know is coming. Phyllis disappears for 48 hours, and when she returns, she's not alone. Sally makes a bold move at a Newman board meeting that leaves jaws on the floor. A body is found, but is it Cole's? And a ghost from the past returns to reclaim what's theirs, and it's going to turn Genoa City upside down. Genoa City is on fire, and no one is coming out unscathed. The next 2 weeks on The Young and the Restless promise betrayal, explosive secrets, emotional breakdowns, and jaw-dropping twists that will leave fans gasping. From Claire's dramatic unraveling to Mariah's guilt-fueled confession, the canvas is painted with chaos, and nobody is safe. After months of trying to put on a brave face and prove herself to the Newmans, Claire Grace is reaching her breaking point. The pressure of living up to Victoria's expectations, navigating family whispers, and hiding a still unknown dark secret from her past finally becomes too much. In a chilling scene coming midweek, Claire is seen alone at the Newman Ranch, shaking, panicked, and tearfully whispering to herself. Could she be unraveling over something more than just emotional stress? Insider buzz says Claire may be hiding a dangerous truth that could blow up her fragile place in the Newman family once and for all. She's not who they think she is, a show insider teased. Something from her past is going to come roaring back, and it's going to change everything. Elsewhere, Maria Copeland is holding onto a secret of her own, and it's eating her alive. Over the past few weeks, fans have noticed her growing distance from Tessa, cryptic conversations, and visible guilt. Now, we'll finally find out why. In a heart-wrenching moment, Maria breaks down and confesses to Sharon something that could jeopardize her entire future. She didn't cheat, but what she did may feel like a betrayal to Tessa, a source close to the production reveals. It's emotional, raw, and could push this couple to the brink. Could Maria be hiding something connected to Kyle or even Adam, who's been mysteriously circling several Genoa City residents with his own agenda? Meanwhile, Victor Newman is back in full ruthless form. When he catches wind of internal disarray in his family and begins hearing rumors about Claire's instability, he takes swift action. In classic Victor style, he puts a private investigator on the case and delivers a warning to his children. If anyone threatens this family, I'll bury them, even if they carry the Newman name. Expect a bombshell confrontation between Victor and Claire by next Friday that may determine whether she remains part of the family or is banished forever. And just when you thought there couldn't be more drama, Phyllis makes a desperate move to win back Nick. But is she too late? Spoilers tease a moment of weakness, a steamy kiss, and a brutal rejection. Or will Nick surprise everyone and choose the devil he knows over another heartbreak? Whispers on the set suggest an unexpected character will return before the end of May sweeps. Someone presumed long gone who will shake up several lives. And yes, someone will die in the coming weeks. Whether it's an accident, revenge, or cover-up remains to be seen.